watcher. Thought I'd pop on here today, do a quick video. We just got over a cold snap here in the UK, but looking outside today, we've got a ground frost on the car and all over the plants, etc. So I think it's time I showed you a video on how to insulate your outside taps, pipes, etc. As you can see, the one at the front of the property has already been lagged and insulated. Got lagging around the pipe and an insulated bag around the tap. Whereas if you see in the rear garden, this tap here and the pipe work underneath it have not yet been insulated or protected from the frost or the ice, so they are at risk of a burst or a fracture from the ice. So let's get these protected. Okay, we've got some very simple tools needed for this job. We have got some insulating pipe, some lagging pipe. You can just buy these from your box store. This section here is about 5 foot long. They're only a couple of quid each. We're going to need some cable ties to connect the lagging onto the pipe work. You can either offer the lagging up to the pipe or you can measure it. So if you want to measure it, you're going to need a measuring tape. You're going to need something to cut the insulating lagging and the cable ties. So you may want to use a pair of scissors. Don't use your best ones, you'll ruin them. A knife, like a Stanley knife, utility knife. Or for the zip ties, the cable ties, I find a pair of snips works really well, but obviously this won't cut the lagging. You'll also need something to protect the tap itself. Now, depending on what type of tap you've got, you can either get away with a bag like this, an insulated bag, or you can get away with a polystyrene insulated hard cover like this. I'll talk you through the two types of when you use these further on in the video. First thing you need to do is measure to make sure you order the right amount or you have the right amount of insulated lagging. Now for me, this section here is only around about 900 millimeters high, with a little return here of about 75 millimeters. And measuring the lagging, these are 1.5 meters long each. So one of these is plenty to get along with. Sometimes your pipe will be running along the wall, so get your tape measure, measure how much you need, then go and order the amount that you need down your local big box store. Always order one too many, because there's probably going to be a few mistakes, cutting errors if you've never done this before. But like a carpenter always says, measure twice, cut once. Okay, now the really simple bit. I take my insulated lagging and I offer it up to the pipe. Now, my pipe, I've cut out a section there. I'll bring you in closer and show you this. This is what I'm talking about. This little section down here, I've just hollowed this out about 25mm below the surface to make sure I get good coverage with my insulation. This is probably what you'd probably call like an advanced technique, or something you don't necessarily need to do, but I like the added belt and braces, that the security that this provides, so you may want to do this as well. So if you don't have that section, you just want to leave your pipe up against the wall and then see where the pipe ends here, using your Stanley knife, which I've got here. Just going to make a little cut just above, and you will see where you've got to cut it. You take it away, put it apart there, and you can cut. Okay, my one, as I said, I like the added belt and braces of security that a hole in the ground provides. I stick it down there first, and it goes down about 1 inch. Then I wrap it around the pipe, bring it all the way to the top. Using my knife, I look to see where it's going to end. Again, I make a little cut there. And you see the difference between the two cuts. I will just use my Stanley knife, cut around the pipe, and that is my lagged section. Which we can then just very easily wrap around our exposed copper pipe all the way up to the top. And now we've got winter coverage for our supply pipe to this tap. That in itself though isn't enough. obviously there's nothing keeping this in position, and around the back of it, what you'll find is the pipe itself will probably be open a little bit. We don't want that. We want to squeeze this together, and that's where your cable ties come in. You can never really have too many cable ties on a pipe this long. I'm going to probably put about 4 of them on here. You could have 5 or 6 if you really feel like you want to add a little bit of extra security to the pipe, you know, get it tighter, but 4 will be enough for me. And if you've never seen cable ties before, there are these bits of plastic that's got a square end there. You push the plastic through and you hear it clicking and it pulls tight, but you cannot pull it back this way. So once you put it through, that's it, it's tightened and it's used. The only thing you can do is cut it off when you're finished with it. And when you do cut it off, a pair of snips, cut it as close to the end as you can. I tend to leave about 1 or 2 mil. Just a quick pro tip to remember when you're using cable ties: when you cut them, it's quite sharp, these corners. So when you're fitting them, you need to consider whether or not your cable tie, the section bit, so this is the wall, you don't want the cut bit sticking outwards because you can catch yourself on it. You really want to cut cable ties so that you can twist the sharp bit and have it going up against the wall, so the sharp bit doesn't catch you when you're using the hose or walking past it, or you got any little kids that are messing around near it, because these can be really sharp, the bits you cut off. So never have them sticking out, always have them, orientate them so they're sticking against the wall. Pro tip for you, save you getting cut. Okay, remembering how you want these to end up, and I'm going to put them this way because my cut tip will be facing the wall. Slide it behind, adjust it towards the top, slide the cable tie through, pull it round and just push it onto the lagging. You see the bit hanging off there, and just snip it. Sometimes it needs a second go. There we go. And if you're using your hands, or you can use something like a pair of pliers, just move the sharp bit around. Well, I've done this a bit tight, so I'm going to have to use a pair of pliers to push this. There we go, just twist that around so it faces the wall, and the sharp bit is now facing the wall. I won't do the next ones as tight because you can see what a problem it causes when you're trying to move them. Simply just put your next ones on wherever you want them to be. That's your pipe secured. We also need to finish about insulating this section here. We do that simply by offering up the insulation once again, making a mark, and just cutting it. Just go over here and protect the top bit. Couple more cable ties. Okay, in this instance it's easier to get the rear one in without the insulation there. You're gonna have to come on an angle around this. Actually no, see, these are the slight problems you get. I'm not going to edit this out. That didn't work there, so I'm going to put it on the front. It wouldn't have worked properly there, so I will move this to the front. Sorry, apologies on my hand, and secure this in position. Now I want this sharp bit pointing down. Take your time on these sort of ones. Get the position you want. Have a few seconds messing around. Better than messing it up. There we are. Okay. Cut off that sharp bit. Now we're left with the tap. If you've got one of these type of tap covers, they're really good, but they're only really work if your tap comes straight out of the wall and doesn't have a hose, a pipe underneath it. Then you can put these straight on. Quite often what I find is best to take these screwed on sections off before you put the tap on. Now in my instance, this will go on the wall like this. If I only had this, I would have to notch out a little section of the bottom to go around the pipe. But these are great when you've got a hose that comes straight out of the wall. But I don't have that. A tap that comes out of the wall, I don't have that. I've got a pipe underneath. So I use one of these insulated bags that the tap just goes straight in. Now remember this bit that you took off? Pop it in there. Then get your bag, put it over the tap, pushing it as close to the wall as you can, just to make a good scrunchy seal. Take one Velcro sleeve around one way, one Velcro around the other way, Velcro it up, and that's your tap, snug as a bug in a rug, ready for all the winter can throw at it. There we are, completely ready for winter. Now shouldn't have any frozen pipes flooding the garden. Thanks for joining me on today's video. Please remember to hit the subscribe button, and the little bell next to the subscribe button is a notification bell. Click on that and click on all notifications, and then you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. I will leave some Amazon affiliate links down below for the materials and the equipment used today. Feel free to use those. It don't cost you any more money, but I get a little bit of a kickback from Amazon for anyone that buys things through those links. And also, if when you click on my links you find out that the link has expired, as they do occasionally, please leave a message below in the comments to say it's expired, and I'll go on there, give you a new link and find the correct product that you need. Thanks for joining me again. I'll see you on the next video. See ya.